Finally, we are getting close to game day. And in this video, I'm going to go ahead and make my prediction between Syracuse and Tennessee. But also, I got something else I want to talk about, and I'm going to get to that later on during this show. But before we get to any of that, you know who this is. This your boy, Blackout Jones, yours truly. Also, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Hit the notification bell so each time that I come out, you'll be the first to know on when my episodes will drop. Also, thank you for your support. Also, for those who have tuned in, thank you for your support. Even though you haven't subscribed, I appreciate your support. But anyway, as I always say, let's get it. Well, let's get to it. That time of the year is here. Prediction time. This is going to be my first prediction between Syracuse and Tennessee. Now, we know a lot of things from Tennessee's standpoint in regards to who's going to be the quarterback, which I'm going to get to that later on after this prediction. But also the injuries, the plethora of injuries that we've had during fall camp. In regards to the wide receivers, you know, Chris Brazzell being out for a minute, Braylon Staley being out for a minute, Mike Matthews had a little hiccup here and there and was out for a couple of weeks. So we've had, like I said, a plethora of injuries, and on the defensive side as well, including, you know, Gerard McCoy. I want to say Joseph was out for a minute. T-Lander was out, you know, for all this for precautionary reasons, which is understandable because it's fall camp. You know, you don't want to push anybody and not have them for a couple of weeks or not for the season. So we know about that side of the ball. We know about that side over there, our Tennessee Volunteers and what they got going on. But if you really ain't been paying attention or really doing your research with the Syracuse Orange, they're having some injury issues themselves as well. And lo and behold, at the wideout spot. So with that being said, they have two true freshmen that were, one of them was looked upon as like the little Wes Walker, and the other one was doing pretty well during fall camp as well, but they both got hurt. But before I get to that and before I get to those injuries, let's talk about the quarterback position for the Syracuse Orange. They have right now in competition Ricky Collins and Steve Angeli. And if y'all remember about Steve Angeli, he played for Notre Dame last year. He came in for Riley Leonard during one of the games last year when Riley got hurt. And then Riley was able to come back in and win the game for them. So he was at Notre Dame he actually signed with Notre Dame back in 2021 during the early signing period. He only appeared in 2 games back in 2022. And then, of course, in 2023, Sam Hartman transfers from Wake Forest and comes to Notre Dame. So now he's playing behind him. And he only was able to play in 9 games, backing up Sam Hartman. And then the next year after that, Riley Leonard transfers from Duke. He comes to Notre Dame. So once again, my man is at the back burner. So then at that point, he decided to finally go ahead and enter himself in the transfer portal. And he ended up signing with Syracuse this year. The other quarterback that I'm going to mention is Ricky Collins. He signed with the LSU Tigers back in 2022, also during the early signing period. And then he sat behind Nessmeyer and for 2 years until transferring to Syracuse back on December 20th of 2024. So those 2 guys right now are in the quarterback competition. Not sure who's going to win that quarterback competition, but according to Coach Fran Brown, he stated that when we find out, Tennessee will find out. And that'll be on August 30th at Mercedes Benz, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But anyway, with that being said, Syracuse is also dealing with some injuries to the wide receiver room as true freshmen, like I stated before. Darius Johnson will be out for 5 weeks due to a fractured tibia. And then fellow true freshman, Julian McFadden, will be out for the season due to a broken collarbone. Unfortunate. really unfortunate. You know, you got two guys coming in first year. You know, they're looking at trying to make an impact. Johnson, he was running with the twos. Like I said, he's the one that was considered by Coach Brown as the little Wes Walker. And if y'all know Wes Walker, Walker, whatever his name is, he played for the Patriots. He also played for, I think he played for the Jets, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong on that. Please let me know in the comments. But anyway, you know how he was. Slot, didn't matter. Real, you know, had a little move on him or whatnot, and he made big plays in the NFL. But anyway, last year, Syracuse finished 10-3, 5-3 in the ACC, and they finished with a 4-game winning streak. Syracuse, Kyle McCord threw for 4,779 yards, 34 touchdowns with 3 rushing touchdowns on the ground. Now, here's the big news. They lost a plethora of impact players. And I mean a plethora of impact players. They literally lost leading running back LaQuint Allen Jr., who got drafted by the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was their leading rusher with 1,021 yards, averaging 13.1 yards a carry with 7 touchdowns. And then they ended up losing one of their top wide receivers in Jackson Meeks, who got drafted by the Detroit Lions. Jackson Meeks himself, I want to say he had 1,000 and I had that mixed up. LaQuint Allen, well, it don't matter. He still had 1,021 yards, 4.5 yards per carry with 16 touchdowns. So he was definitely a major player because there was no running back behind him that did over 150 yards. So he was the bell cow, if you will. But Jackson Meeks, same, 1,021 yards of receiving yardage. He averaged 13.1 yards of reception, and he had 7 touchdowns, which that is crazy, 13.1. So he was that guy. But they ended up losing him. They ended up losing the second leading receiver in Trevor Pena, who transferred to Penn State. He finished with 941 yards, averaging 11.2 yards, and with 9 touchdowns. And then Arondé Gatson, the second, who was the tight end, their leading tight end, he also is gone. He got drafted by San Diego Chargers, and he averaged what, 12.8 yards per catch for 934 yards with 7 touchdowns. Anybody else below that didn't even get over 600 yards. But they have coming back, what's my man name? Darrell Gill Jr. He will be back along with Emmanuel Ross and Zeed Haynes. So, and I think they're going to have, who else is going to be coming back? Umari Hatcher. He'll be a senior this year. So those are their 4 wide receivers that are going to be back this year, but they lost some big-time playmakers from that team last year, including my man that also got entered the transfer portal, and he transferred to Penn State. Now, with that being said, on the defensive side of things, I didn't really look too much on the defense, but what I did see, they lost a couple of their key players as well. Definitely, let me take a look here real quick. They definitely lost Justin Barron, who he got drafted by the Cowboys. Also, Elijah Clark? Yes, I think Elijah Clark, he also got drafted by the Cowboys as well. Yes. So they lost a couple of defensive players as well. So they're coming into this really brand new. Even though, they have some wide receivers that are coming back from the team last year, but they wasn't the key receivers. They wasn't, they wasn't key playmakers. Just like Tennessee. We have some receivers that are coming back that wasn't key playmakers, except for Chris Brazzell. That was really it. But now we have Mike Matthews that I feel like is going to blow up. If Brayton Staley can stay healthy, then I think he will have a great season as well. But with that being said, I think this is going to come down to whose quarterbacks are better, whose playmakers are better, whose defense is going to make that other team, whose defense is going to be better. Let's not even get into all that other stuff. Whose defense is going to be better? Now, I look at it from this. I think in regards to the quarterback position, I give the edge to Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you why. Because there is news that Joey Aguilar will be QB1 on August 30th. He will start the season. Reason why I say advantage us, even though Joey came in May, because he's experienced and he has played a lot of football compared to the other two quarterbacks that are in Syracuse. So I give Joey Aguilar the edge on that. Offensive line, I give the edge to Tennessee as well. I think that offensive line is going to be pretty good. I truly believe that. I think Lance Hurd, like I said, he's trimmed down. He's looking good. He's looking faster. His body is looking great. I've been hearing great things about him offensively on that line. David Sanders as well. Wendell Moye, Sam Pendleton, Sada White. Man, you name it. Jake was his name? Oh my God, Perry. Yeah, Perry's been looking good, and so I feel very confident about offensive line. The wide receivers, that's going to be up in the air. I think that's right across the board right here with Syracuse and with Tennessee. I think it's even 50-50 in regards to that. Defensively, we're going to mollywop Syracuse all across that damn field. I'm going to tell you that right now because we got playmaker after playmaker after playmakers out there. Syracuse, I don't think they do, and I'm going to tell you why. Because even though they finished 10-3, they were giving up 30, 40 points a game damn near, as far as what I was seeing on that field. Now, they were definitely prone. They were definitely Swiss cheese. Understand something. So, advantage, Tennessee. And with that being said, I'm picking Tennessee. Of course I'm picking Tennessee. But I truly believe that score is going to be 35-14. No question. No question. I think defensively and with the two quarterbacks that are not as experienced, even though they've been in college for 3 years now, they haven't truly had any game time experience. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I'm going for my Tennessee Volunteers. Who do y'all think who do you think is going to win? And if you know who you think is going to win, then what is your prediction? What's your score prediction? Definitely comment. Definitely give me your thoughts. Whether you're a Tennessee fan, whether you're a Syracuse fan, or whether you're just a fan of other teams in college football, give me your prediction and who do you believe will truly win this game one matchup against between Syracuse and Tennessee. I really would love to know what y'all thoughts are. But anyway, this your boy Blackout Jones. This is Just Shooting the Sports. And anytime when I talk about these colors right here and that power T, you already know what it is. Go Big Orange and go Vols.